Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, you guys, relax, okay? Take a deep breath. Be fine, don't worry. You ready? Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy Come here. Day. Come here and stand over here. When Jesus was. When Jesus was. When Jesus was. When Jesus was. Jesus was. When Jesus was. You're going to have to do better than that. All right, you guys, take your cue from me.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. You here with the Gathering of Christ Church. Before we do anything, we always start with prayer. So, if we can, get all the brothers to uncover their head and all the sisters to cover their head. We will all face towards the east, facing towards our homeland, where the Most High said He keeps His eyes and His ears. And then I'll pass it over to Deacon Yanqua.
Shalom, family. This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and in English. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemaya, Wadash Haya, Shamsha, Ahaya, Malakaka, Daba'a, Rakazawaka, Haya, Shash, Ba Rakaza, Kawahaya, Ba Shemaya, Adalanawa, Lakam, Kazawam, Wasalaknawa, Kawawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawakinawa, Wala'a, Dabayanawa, Banasaya 1, above, Hawashai Nawa, on Rai, Kayanaka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Waha Tabara, Lawa Yumyum, among. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
All right, amen. All praises to the Most High, Hayabash and Yeshaya. We also pray that wisdom be provided for all of us in understanding. So amen to that. Well, again, shalom. I hope all is well with everyone that's listening in. Again, you're listening to the Gathering of Christ Church. Tonight is Hebrew Culture is Life, and we're on Blog Talk radio.com/GOC Church. That's all one word. As you're listening in through the internet, you'll also see that there's a Skype button, meaning it's a free call to call in through Skype. I prefer Skype because it also comes in through the speakers. You can go anywhere in the house, and everyone can hear it. Our schedule through the week is Wednesday. Well, it starts at Wednesday because we don't have fill-ins for Monday and Tuesday, which means you could catch up on all the blog talks, catch up on all the classes, and listen to the recording. So we'll start at Wednesday, and Wednesday's show starts at 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's the Search Engine International with Elder Gaja, Elder Ricard, with various interviews. Thursday is What Scripture Is That with Elder Ra'ai, same time, 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's with controversial topics and current events, a lot of updated news, and sometimes the elders gather around just to have conversation about various topics. Friday, you have Leaving Babylon with Elder Ramar, and he is identifying Babylon, end-time prophecies, and, dealing with different Illuminati and, different various groups that, the elite, things of what nature. That's the same time, 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday, you rest up and catch up on all the and view the Ustream classes, and that's at ustream.tv/user Gathering of Christ. That's all one word. 6 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Central, and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also catch up on the blog talks. They are all recorded, so you can also do that on the Sabbath. Sundays you have the Academy, and where you receive jam-packed information you should be attending into, at least when you can. And to gather that information, you would email the church at gatheringas1@aol.com to enter into the Hebrew Bible Academy. And then, following that night, at 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll be with us. Hebrew Culture is Life, where cultures are compared to the Hebrew culture, where the path is shown to righteousness through our culture and our heritage, strictly according to biblical text from the Torah, the Tanakh, into the Gospels. You have a complete understanding on our culture. As we go through the scripts, brothers and sisters, and information, brothers and sisters, take note, as thorough as possible, no matter how long or how short of a time you've been in this word. This always helps to build memorization and other sets of skills. Sirach 42:7 says, deliver all things in number and weight, put all in writing that thou givest out and receivest in. according to wisdom. This is the Hebrew culture. All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, peace, blessings, mercy. All praise to the Father, Yeshua. Again, you at the Gathering in Christ Church. This is Deacon Xavier. You also got Deacon Yaquab on.
Shalom, family. How y'all doing out there?
Definitely. What you been up to, Deacon Yaquab? Everything well?
Oh, all is well, brother. No complaints, man. Just trying to, keep hold down the flock down here in Texas and keep the spirit flowing all throughout the four corners of the earth, starting at home.
All praise to the Father. All praise to the Father. Same thing here. Got big things going on, big things. That's cool.
Already.
Glad you're here with us tonight. Tonight, brothers and sisters. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I was saying likewise, brother.
Okay. Tonight, brothers and sisters, we are going to go through some information on the Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras. This is a whole set of culture just free of to do anything you want kind of culture. So we're going to compare it tonight with the Hebrew culture versus Mardi Gras culture. And of course, we went into different websites, different books, just gathering information. So you already know the Mardi Gras did not just start in America. In fact, the Mardi Gras is practiced throughout the earth. Now, I could have took the time to go to each spot in the earth and, here and over here, but I couldn't. I couldn't gather that much information. If I did gather that much information, it wouldn't be done in 4 hours. Okay? So, so we're going over this Mardi Gras lesson, and I hope y'all got y'all pens, pencils, and papers, because it's going to help you, pass this information and then take this information to where you'll be able to decipher and show the line between righteousness and unrighteousness. Before I start, though, there was a question proposed. Someone asked, was it satanic music playing? Oh, the phone is ringing. Silence. Okay, someone asked, was it satanic music playing? It's up to you, what type of music you consider satanic. For me, I liked it, oh, happy day. It's uplifting, whether they say Jesus or whether they say Yahashua or whatever else they want to say. If it's uplifting music for me and it's not causing me to sin, I don't look at it as, satanic. Because you got music out there that's talking about, do this and do that, as you're about to see with Mardi Gras. You got music out here that's telling you to commit sin. That's telling you to practice sin. So this song, Oh Happy Day, is not telling you to practice sin. It's telling you, it's uplifting music. To I, at least. To some, it may not be. It's up to you, But I wouldn't say listen to this hip hop out here. Now that's straight satanic music. You could look in their videos and they're throwing up Baphomets everywhere, and women just shaking their drawers off. You understand? That's satanic, unrighteousness. So when it comes to music, I kind of listen to varieties. If it's good music and they're not telling me to sin. So hopefully that helps with some folks here. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the lesson. Let's first start off at Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 14. And we're going to start off here because the Most High is going to plead with us to let go of these feast days that we're dealing with. Yes, Mardi Gras is a type of carnival, a type of feast or festival. Feast and festival is synonymous, same thing. So let's go ahead and start there. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 14.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 14. Your new moons and your appointed feast my soul hated. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them.
So all of your feasts my soul hated. Now, he's saying your appointed feast. So you got people that go here and say, well, see, God don't want us celebrating the feast days anymore. No, he's talking about the feast days that we make up, that we create. He says his soul hated. He's not going to hate something that he created. Because in it is no confusion. In it is all truth. But our feast days that we create and that we make up, his soul hated. He can't bear them. Who could when it comes to Mardi Gras? Especially if you're walking in righteousness and in truth, and you just end up walking down this street. Well, what's this street called? I can't even remember now.
Bourbon Street.
Bourbon. There it goes. Good looking out, BDI Quad. Bourbon Street. Let's keep going.
Verse 15. And when you spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood.
Your hands are full of blood. So you got these religious practices, including Christianity and Catholicism, which Mardi Gras accepts as which Christianity and Catholicism is accepted. Mardi Gras is accepted by Christianity and Catholicism. They are actually one of the root causes of it. We're going to find that out in the following information we begin to read. So they're praying and their hands are full of blood. No one knows what's being done behind these closed doors on Mardi Gras. No one knows what sacrifices and what spiritual uncleanness is happening behind these festivals. What is it for? Right? Let's keep going.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 16. Wash you, make you clean. Put away the evil of your doings before mine eyes. Cease to do evil.
Cease to do evil. So those of us that begin to walk into the truth, we begin to wash away these sins. We begin to make a new path into righteousness. We begin to cease to do evil. You know, some of us might have walked into Mardi Gras and participated in the unrighteous activities, the unrighteous culture. So now we begin to do a new path in righteousness. We cease to do evil. Go ahead. What else do we do?
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow.
Plead for the widow. Learn to do well. That's what we begin to do, walking into the truth, relieving the oppressed. I hope brothers and sisters are doing these things. Judging the fatherless. Pleading for the widow. Learning to do well constantly. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Come now, and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool.
Exactly. So, he says, let us reason together. What are we reasoning with? Truth. So now you got, whether you practice Islam, whether you practice Christianity, whether you practice Buddhism, they're all found at Mardi Gras. Whether you're an atheist or not, they're all found at Mardi Gras. So he's going to begin to reason with truth. So let's face the facts about Mardi Gras and the unrighteousness about it. That way you can learn to do well. Because at first your sight didn't tell you what was good and what was evil. Your sight didn't tell you what was unrighteous and what was righteous. So you begin to operate in what the Bible says, whatever is good in your own eyes. So now we're going to show you, so you can plead with the Most High face to face if you are a partaker of these things, and I know most of you aren't, at least I hope. You begin to wash away and make yourself clean, turn to righteousness. Though your sins be as scarlet, they will be white as snow. Let's go ahead.
Verse 19. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land.
So if you be willing and obedient, a lot of people haven't even exercised their ability to be obedient. But yet they looking to make it into the land. So they trying to skip all the steps of making it into the land. They think catching the plane to Egypt, walking over to Sinai is the end of the story, and you make it into the land. You have to operate in obedience, or else you won't even make it, no matter how far you get. So you practicing unrighteousness, and you think you got a plane ticket tomorrow to get out of America, and you think that's going to work. For example, you might be committing adultery constantly, and you get out there to the wilderness, what are you going to do? You can't just lay around with any woman, lay around with any man. You won't make it. You won't eat the good of the land. That's why it's important for you to practice righteousness now, for you to wash those sins away now. Because if you don't wash it away now, it gets harder and harder, and then you want to go to another land where they don't practice unrighteousness, or they don't practice the deeds that you practice, and you deserve the punishment for it, which the Most High said he will judge you for those unrighteous acts that you do, whether they be in secret or whether they be out in the open. And he'll bring it out to the open, as he says. Go ahead.
Verse 20. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it.
So if you refuse and rebel, as we were just saying, you reading these scriptures, you saying, all right, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to bear false witness, and you continue to bear false witness, you'll still be devoured with the sword. Because isn't the sword being sent out amongst the earth? You cannot run from the Most High. Only the righteous is going to have life. You cannot practice unrighteousness and think that you can make it somewhere and say, well, I'm going to do righteousness there, or I'm going to do righteousness there. It don't happen that way. Guaranteed. You have to practice righteousness from the point that you read it. When you read it and it says that it's unrighteousness, then you stop committing that sin. That's why you begin to reason. Reasoning takes time. That's what thus saith the Lord. He said he want to reason with you. Let us reason together. Reasoning takes time. That's why you have that grace period. So if you was participating in this carnival, Mardi Gras, which also means Fat Tuesday, they have this on Tuesday. They call it Fat Tuesday for certain reasons that we will be reading eventually. And I also want to make note, it's called Shrove Tuesdays. We'll find that out also. And also make note that the music is released on Tuesdays. And if you notice what happens at Mardi Gras, music, partying. So there's a connection there that I wasn't able to make as of yet with proof. But I'm still researching, I'm still looking it up. Okay, so let's read some stuff about Mardi Gras. And mind you, we're going to go into Brazil with it. We'll go into some other countries with it, where it stemmed from, and believe the Catholic Church had a lot to do with it and still has a lot to do with it, still supports it. Christianity still supports it. As you see, a bunch of Christians will be rolling down there. I believe it happened this Tuesday, and it goes on, and it continues into Lent and Ash Day, which is all kind of weird satanic stuff. Lent and Ash Day, and then Easter. All have nothing to do with the scriptures, but we have to prove that this is practice is unrighteous. For someone who says, well, it's okay to go to Mardi Gras. Oh, is it? Well, let's read it. Let's start at wikipedia.com. Just, I think this is defining Mardi Gras. Go ahead.
All right, one moment here.
Yeah, Ash Wednesday.
Okay, so we're at wikipedia.org, and this is the definition of Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm.
Mardi Gras season and carnival season in English refer to the events of the carnival celebrations, beginning on or after Epiphany and culminating on the day before Ash.
Wait, hold on 1 second. You on the first page?
I'm on Wikipedia.
Okay, let me send you the file real quick. Grab this file. Okay, there you go. So let me know when you got that well and open. We on page 1 there. And it's wikipedia.org. So again, we're going to be talking about Mardi Gras. This is a festival. This is a carnival. Things that the righteous are not supposed to partake in. They not only see Mardi Gras is out in the open, but the things that they practice are also practiced in clubs, in just in your everyday or every weekend type event that some of us used to partake in. Okay, people strip, take off their clothes just in the middle of the street and throw beads around. This is unrighteousness. We're not supposed to reveal ourselves to others. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Go ahead.
All right, this is from wikipedia.com, the definition of carnival. Carnival is a festival traditionally held in Roman Catholic and or to a lesser extent Eastern Orthodox societies. Protestant areas usually do not have carnival celebrations or have modified traditions, such as the Danish carnival.
Mm-hmm.
The Brazilian carnival is the longest celebration today, but many cities and regions worldwide celebrate with large popular events. These include the Carnaval of Venice, Italy, of Santa Cruz de Tenerife, Canary Islands, of Torres Vedras, Portugal, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Rijeka, Croatia, Barranquilla, Colombia, and Trinidad and Tobago. In the United States, the famous Mardi Gras celebrations in New Orleans, Louisiana, and Mobile, Alabama, date back to French and Spanish colonial times. An inspiration for the carnival traditionally was that it marked the last time for celebration and special foods before Lent. The Lenten period was marked by practices of fasting, restricted food, and pious practices. Traditionally, no parties were held and people refrained from eating rich foods, such as meat, and in some cases dairy, fats, and sugar. The 40 days of Lent served to mark an annual time of turning to God and religious discipline.
All right, so that was Wikipedia.org, I believe, right? Is it .com or .org?
.org.
Okay, .org. All right. So they would do Mardi Gras before Lent. The whole point of Mardi Gras is to do, commit sin. Get all your sins out before you turn to the Lord each year. So, you think of it, they're doing it. Sacrifices, unrighteousness at high levels, adultery, adulteress, all of them. They all come out. Witchcraft, sorcery. You're going to read later on that they're dancing with devils, having little battles between angels and demons. Right? So this carnival is practiced worldwide. As you can tell, it was in Italy, a few other countries. It's in the islands, Portugal, and even in the United States, Trinidad. Now, you're going to see that these main focus of all of these unrighteous practices are going to be focused strictly towards the children of Israel, because that's where the major ones are. Brazil, Trinidad, and New Orleans in the United States. Those are worldwide events. Everyone knows when that goes down. But now Portugal is kind of silent on it. Also there's one in Colombia. I missed that. So someone one day might ask you, what's up with Mardi Gras? What's up with Lent? We're going to describe a lot of these things tonight actually. Now this is information we're reaching into. Will be on other cultures. So we're going into, what country are we going into tonight? We're going to go, first we're going to start off in New Orleans. Then we're going to go to the Dominican Republic, where more of our brothers and sisters are at. And then another country. Okay? And they're all going to pretty much, repetitious. They'll be repetitious constantly. They're doing the same thing all over. It's just New Orleans might not do exactly what Colombia would do, because it's less acceptable to have just a straight devil in the middle of the street, because there's Christians around. So you have to make it blend into society. Kind of like it's a bunch of witches around here in your city, and you don't know who they are unless they say they witches. And they practice sorcery. And we can name out some right now, which are the doctors that practice pharmakia. Society made it an acceptable thing. That's why it's no problem for them to, take off their clothes and go against the Most High, choosing other gods, commit adultery, commit fornication, on and on and on. And then they want to do Lent and Ash Wednesday to make it seem like, well, I'm still in touch with God, when they know they're not, but choose to believe so. So let's get some more of this pagan day, Mardi Gras. And this is coming from exposingsatanism.org. Go ahead.
All right, family, this is the roots of Mardi Gras according to exposingsatanism.org. Its origin. Springtime pagan celebrations are the roots of the modern-day Mardi Gras. Ancient Greek and Roman festivals, for example, Roman festivals of Saturnalia and Lupercalia, involve sacrifice, drunkenness, lewdness, immoral sex, and revelry. In the parade of the pagans, false gods are worshipped by exalting an image above the assembly. Pagan priests, accompanied by the idol, shower the crowds with spring flowers, herbs, grains, and coins. Both good fortunes, spells, and curses were shouted, including the calls to the idol god to grant favor and blessings.
All right, so as you can see, here we go. The Romans and the Greeks are at the root of this. You know the Greeks would be around. Why? Because they barely wore clothes. They throw on a sheet and call it a day. And according to Josephus, they were some disgusting people, along with the Romans. Okay, let's keep going. Actually, it says it pulls out festivals of Saturnalia. You'll hear that a lot concerning Christmas, concerning Christmas. You'll hear that because that's what they do. That's the 12 days of Christmas right there, Saturnalia, festivals of Saturnalia. So this is just a rollover. It actually starts January 6th. The only people that I know that really practice Mardi Gras, it's called Mardi Gras for short here. It's called other things other places. But this party actually stands for about 2 months until Easter. So they party for at least 2 months, all the way up until Easter on the streets. And you'll see that as we keep reading on through all these various articles of information. Drunkenness, lewdness, immorality, sacrifice, right? False gods. Now, if you go there, you'll see the gods, you'll see the lewdness, the drunkenness. It's the same thing all over again. Keep going.
One example of the gods is Pan. He is represented by a half-animal, half-man incarnation. He represents wanton lust and crudeness. In the Roman celebration Lupercalia, a fertility festival, the worship of Lupercus involved cross-dressing and masquerading to promote sexual orgies. Today, the celebration of Centaur exalts the same spirit of revelry and wanton abandonment. Drunkenness, homosexuality, nudity, and brawling all still exist today.
Yeah. So that's going to be all part of any kind of festival. What they would do, I know, during Christmas was that the policing, the governmenting would all stop for like 12 days to a month. That would all stop for 12 days to a month. And then all, break loose. Murderings. I mean, things were going on out in the open that the eye could not bear. And that's exactly what goes on. Not to the fullest extent, but it could turn that way at any time in any place. Not to the fullest extent, but over here down in New Orleans. The United States is more of a fleshly country, so they're trying to deal with the flesh more than anything else. But during Roman times, we want gold, we want whatever you got on you. and then we want more. Okay? Let's get that precept.
Okay. When you're reading this article, you see several key words. You see drunkenness, lewdness, immoral sex, revelry. Now, there's some scriptures that directly point these things out in the Gospels or in the epistles. So I'm going to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves of mankind. Verse 10, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor rivalers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God.
Mm-hmm. And as you can tell, this is what goes on directly in these festivals. You know, whether it be Mardi Gras, whether it be whatever kind of festival that we create, it's always something unrighteous to it if we're creating it. And we're creating, and not only if we're creating it, but if we're going the opposite route of the Most High. It'll fit that all those categories would place in somewhere or somehow. And not only the laws that the Most High created for us to practice, we'd be breaking one of them. Not one, but probably many. Okay? All right, so let's keep going.
Next paragraph, back to the article in exposingsatanism.org. What was once deplored by the church is now accepted. A blend of pagan rites, animism, and church religion exists today. In an attempt to convert the masses to the church, the Catholic Church fixed to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, Easter, around the astrological event that spring rites celebrate, the full moon of the spring equinox. The fixing of Easter allows the unscriptural religious celebration of Lent and Ash Wednesday to follow Mardi Gras. Instead of resisting the ways of the pagans, the church absorbed many of these festivals in hopes that they would convert the pagans. What we have today is a churchy world and a worldly church. In French, Mardi Gras means Fat Tuesdays. This is a day to gorge and overindulge oneself before the seasonal religious practice of fasting, abstinence, and denial. It is not surprising that the symbol for Mardi Gras is the bull of Gras, the fattened bull.
Yeah. So the bull Gras means the fattened bull. So you'll find the bull matched up in Mardi Gras some way, somehow, and everywhere within it. And we'll also get to that later. So before the year is up, equinox, they would dip themselves in sin until the new year was up. It's kind of like how they do today. Before the year is up, everyone is partying. You know, they kissing whoever they want to kiss. You know, they go to the club, they go and party, they go and drink. Same thing. Only now, it's a few months. It's, you know, it's practiced with fasting and abstinence and denial, and that's Lent, 40 days and 40 nights, just a big mocking of, you know, the righteousness that our Lord and Savior practiced, that many of the prophets practiced as like Moses. Okay? And here it is, the Roman Catholic Church. Hey, go ahead. You know, you're free to do it. Grace is with you. Jesus died for your sins. You can do what you please. So yes, you'll find Catholics down there. Because the church, the Catholic Church that is, accepts it. Now, we, being judges and being the children of Israel, we have to place a judgment on whether you are practicing righteousness or not, and it has to be said. It can't be kept quiet. So you pull that person to the side and say, look, I know you're doing this, nightly, or every weekend, or you're practicing lewdness or, drunkenness. This may be your practice, but look at your life in the long run. Look where it would lead you. And you're definitely not right with the Father. So, if you want to practice these things, you really have to examine yourself, whether or not you want to make it to the kingdom or whether or not you're just looking for another area to reside. Okay? The Catholic Church, when you say Catholic, that means universal. So they're dealing with every religion. They're accepting every religion. Therefore, it's pagan within itself. And many others should all, when you say pagan, people don't understand pagan. So you got to say they worship many gods. Universal. Worshiping of many gods. That's what they should be called. Trying to convert other pagans into their pagan practices, it works because they're like one of the biggest religions on earth. Accepting Lent, for example, which came from other pagans. They probably wasn't Catholics. They were some other religion, some other practice, accepted that into their practice, and that way they can accept whatever religion that was, to make them accept their Cedric or their Jesus Christ. So that's where and now you got this big problem, because now people are saying the law is done away with. Well, now that the law is done away with, you can practice things. It's safe for you to go to the Mardi Gras because the law is done away with. So therefore, you can do whatever you feel you want to do, whatever is good in your eyes, because now you have no boundaries. You looking at Christ, well, he was born of a virgin, so, I can't really do what he did. That's Jesus Christ you're talking about. I can't do that. You understand? So they indulge in sin. All kind of practices that are just unrighteous. And you can look at it and say, that is unrighteousness. Why am I partaking in this? And why am I allowing it to happen? Why is your government allowing it to happen? If your government was built on Christian standards, why do they allow it? Why does your governor allow it? And why do you support it? So mind you, this is coming from the Greeks and the Romans, some of the most wicked people on earth. Not only wicked, these people are disgusting. Therefore, wherever you have Roman and Greek practices, you have very disgusting practices. So this is not our culture. You should have established that by now. You should have established that. This is not our culture. These are not the things that we take in. It's a Roman culture with Roman deeds. It's a Greek culture that we went into that last week. The Greeks love to be operating lewdness. Right? let's go into how did Mardi Gras come to be in the United States? Because that was just a whole build-up of what is Mardi Gras for those that don't understand. So we're going to go ahead and go into there, and this is going to be how it came to pass to operate in the United States. Go ahead.
This is from History.com, Mardi Gras in the United States. Many historians believe that the first American Mardi Gras took place on March 3, 1699, when the French explorers Iberville and Bienville landed in what is now Louisiana, just south of the holiday's future epicenter, New Orleans. They held a small celebration and dubbed the spot Point du Mardi Gras. In the decades that followed, New Orleans and other French settlements began marking the holiday with street parties, masked balls, and lavish dinners. When the Spanish took control of New Orleans, however, they abolished these rowdy rituals, and the bans remained in force until Louisiana became a U.S. state in 1812.
So here we go. Many historians believe that the first American Mardi Gras took place on March 3rd, 1699. And here it is, the French. That's why you have the Creole down there practicing it also. Then who else got in here? The Spanish. And the French were first celebrating holidays, not holy days, holidays with street parties. That's how it began. Street parties, masked balls, and lavish dinners. Go ahead. Oh, wait. It didn't end there. It said rowdy rituals, which we're getting to. Now they don't do it as rowdy as, they used to do, because it's governed now. It's governed to be acceptable in your society, in your community. Go ahead.
On Mardi Gras 1827, a group of students donned colorful costumes and danced through the streets of New Orleans, emulating the revelry they observed while visiting Paris. 10 years later, the first recorded New Orleans Mardi Gras took place, a tradition that continues to this day. In 1857, a secret society of New Orleans businessmen called the Mystic Crew of Comus organized a torch-lit Mardi Gras procession with marching bands and rolling floats, setting the tone for future public celebrations in the city. Since then, crews have remained a fixture of the carnival scene throughout Louisiana. Other lasting customs include throwing beads and other trinkets, wearing masks, decorating floats, and eating king cake.
So we read earlier that they were already doing masked balls and lavish dinners, so it became a carnival or a festival. And students began to dress in colorful costumes. That was in 1827. And they began, 10 years later, they say it was recorded to be the first Mardi Gras by these group of students. Now, then another secret society steps into play here. This secret society, called the Mystic Crew of Comus, organized a torch-lit Mardi Gras procession with marching bands. You'll find the Mystic Crew still there today. They still practice the same thing, still down there doing their secret rituals on the people. Because remember, when we read first how it started in Roman times, they were shouting out what? A bunch of witchcraft things. Okay? So this stuff, it don't end. It don't just stop at Roman time. It don't just stop at Egypt time. It continued. It continued into this day. In fact, it built this very place that we operate in. all of the laws that the United States practice Roman, Babylonian, Egyptian laws, and Greek. You should be able to tell that by all the statues and all the churches that the government allows. The government allows so many different religions on their land or to operate in their society because they are pagan themselves. Now, if they did serve one God, they would only let one God be served in this country. It's not how it works, though, right? Go ahead. We'll get some more information on this mystic crew. Go ahead.
Louisiana is the only state in which Mardi Gras is a legal holiday. However, elaborate carnival festivals draw crowds in other parts of the United States during the Mardi Gras season as well, including Alabama and Mississippi. Each region has its own events and traditions.
Right. So you see that there being Louisiana, just, hey, we allow it. You know, everybody do worship Satan if you feel. Break away from your religion. Be free. Chant cursings and, you know, be lewd, drunk. You're allowed. And at the same time, they're still regulated because they don't want it to be outside of the norm, which what they do now is outside of the norm. It is not normal, but since the communities allow it, since the United States and since the government allows it, it's the norm. Just, I'm gonna keep going back to things that you can further comprehend on, which would be the physicians, the doctors. They became a normal practice. Before, it was abnormal to deal with a physician, a sorcerer, a witch artist. It was abnormal to deal with horoscopes, at least in our culture. Let's get some more information on this mystic society. This mystic crew of Compass, or Compass. Go ahead.
Mystic Society's connection. A mystic society is a Mardi Gras social organization similar to a crew in New Orleans that presents parades and or balls for the enjoyment of its members, guests, and the public. Mystic Society membership is secret. The societies have been based in class, economic, and racial groups. The Mystic Crew of Compass, a secret society of New Orleans businessmen, was founded in 1856 in New Orleans, Louisiana, and is a carnival crew. Compass was organized by Anglo-Americans. The Compass Parade became known...
Hold on right there. It says, first, this was a secret society of New Orleans businessmen. And also it says it also involved racial groups. So there was different types of races within there. And it was economic groups, kind of like the Illuminati. You have different levels. And this is a group that presents carnivals, parades, balls for enjoyment. So they're still down there. Operating, they may be operating in secret, but the membership is definitely secret. So whoever is part of that, no one would know. The key thing it says about this was Anglo-Saxon or Anglo-Americans. Anglo means angelic. Angelic Americans. Can you think about that? Go ahead.
Comus was organized by Anglo-Americans. The Comus parades became known for their sometimes obscure things relating to ancient history and mythology. While other New Orleans parades might have themes like Foods of the World or Broadway shows tunes, comers would present them themes like serpent deities of the ancient Near East, Mobile, Alabama parading mystic societies, build colorful carnival floats, and create costumes around each year's themes. During the carnival season, the Mystic Society parades and costume on their floats throughout downtown Mobile. Bad Society members toss small gifts known as throws to the parade spectators. The throws can take the form of trinkets, candies, cookies, peanuts, panties, artificial roses, stuffed animals, doubloons, cups, hats, can coolers, frisbees, medallion necklaces, bead necklaces of every variety, and moon pies. One of the trademarks of the Mardi Gras are the beads, usually given as a reward for those who expose private body parts. The revelers take pride as they gather massive amounts of them, which often end up on their mirrors as they drive home. The beads are their crowning identification as a drunkard and reveler. The beads are first thrown from the floats as seen below, and then become trading items for those who will remove their clothing. Along with beads, the floats throw out beer cups and other items.
So this is a route from the mystic partaking in this carnival, wanted to become chaos, wanted to wreak havoc, wants you to be operating lewdness. They want you to operate this way, to continue to worship their God. As you can see, they bring out serpent deities of the ancient Near East. What's the ancient Near East? Canaanite gods, Babylonian gods, Egyptian gods. So serpent deities. You understand? So you partying with those, the creators of this event, practicing satanic rituals. You are part of a festival. So if the Most High told you to have a festival, you go and eat at the festival, you go and pray with the festival goers, then you're partaking in an holy day. If you go to a Mardi Gras, you're partaking in with these serpent deities that are being worshipped, and probably have someone being sacrificed somewhere, and all this lewdness that would be practiced by other individuals that are probably part of the society. But this is a culture, because it's not just one day, as people are led to believe. I know, at least I believed it. It's just one day or 1 week. This goes on for 2 months. It might not happen in this country because it is regulated, but it happens in other countries. In fact, I was reading on another country where after the Mardi Gras, they would send a young child off to the woods to march up a mountain to find something or send them somewhere. This was a young child. Now I know, it's a different type of society, different type of community over there, but we don't do those things, and there's no need to. All right, we don't practice those things. There's no need to. The biggest thing we can do for a child is, okay, you ready to practice the law. You have understanding of the law. Now feel accountable. You understand? You follow? All right? Let's keep going.
In 1991, the New Orleans City Council passed an ordinance that requires social organizations, including Mardi Gras crews, to certify publicly that they did not discriminate on the basis of race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation, in order to obtain parade permits and other public licensure. In effect, the ordinance required these and other private social groups to abandon their traditional code of secrecy and identify their members for the city's Human Relations Commission. The Comas organization, along with Momus and Proteus, other 19th century crews, withdrew from parading rather than identify as membership.
So instead of being identified, like I said, it's being regulated now. So instead of being identified, they just withdrew their membership, you know, of being part of the ones to organize the event. They'd rather show up unidentified. They'd rather show up in secret. So that way you don't know their members, that way you don't know their practices, and that way, you know, if they might see you as a good member, and they might want you to join, right? This is why we stay far away from this stuff, because, I mean, these people right here, if you want to join one of their organizations, you have to give life for a life. You know, you not only give up your life, you give up somebody else's life. You might end up drinking blood. You might end up drinking, you know, whatever it might be. Like I said, these are Greek and Roman customs. The Greek and the Romans used to do some disgusting things, had disgusting practices. They were known for, you know, like I said, cross-dressing. They were known for all that. Go ahead.
Two federal courts later declared that the ordinance was an unconstitutional infringement on First Amendment rights of free association and an unwarranted intrusion on the privacy of the group subject to the ordinance. The decision of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals appears at Volume 42, page 1483 of the Federal Reporter, 3rd Series, or 42F3D 1483, 5th Circuit 1995. The Supreme Court refused to hear the city's appeal from this decision. Despite this, the crew has not returned to the streets to parade. Proteus later returned. The Mystic crew of Como still holds an annual ball on Mardi Gras night.
See, they still down there, still doing their thing, and that's in Wikipedia. Right? So the federal courts ruled it as, you know, they overchanged it. That way they can go back in and operate how they want to operate under whatever society name they want to be. Right? So it would be pretty obvious now that, you know, the Romans, where do the Romans get their practices from? A lot of their practices come out of Egypt, out of Africa. So you see a lot of these, you know, African dances enter into, you know, America. And you know how the Africans dance. Us as Hebrews, we're a clothed nation. We wear clothes. A lot of these other nations don't do that. All right? And we all know Roman still practices, Greek still practices from all different types of combined it. Then they tell you it's okay to practice someone else's culture instead of retaining your own. Okay? So as they infiltrated throughout the earth, they're passing on all these different cultures and causing a bunch of confusion amongst the earth. The main people that had to infiltrate was the children of Israel. And most of these worldwide known events are only held by the children of Israel. They may have certain things happen in Europe, but that's just the root of it. you know, the children of Israel, we like to celebrate. We like to party. We like to, you know, dance, get down, however you want to put it. Let's go to the Dominican Republic, where our brother Simeon is. So if you're from the tribe of Simeon, we're actually going to read some information, and maybe you have some input on it. Feel free to call in. 646-200-4309. If you're from the tribe of Simeon, maybe you got some extra words for this. So let's go.
All right, this is from travel.nytimes.com. The title is Dominican Republic, La Divinidad, or the Dance of the Devil. Then, the quiet streets of La Vega are crowded with visitors who seem to double the population of 200,000. The clubs filled with deafening music that keeps their customers dancing until almost dawn. Most notably, grotesquely beautiful, intricately decorated, jingle bell draped demons race through the streets of the jam-packed town every Sunday, whipping anyone who dares to get in their way with reinforced cow bladders that carry a surprisingly nasty sting.
So you see what I'm talking about? You see how disgusting? So where do you think they got that from? This just didn't show up in their society. People just don't practice, okay, we got to get some cow bladders and go whip people with it. They got this from the European cultures. And then you see it's not practiced in America. Why? They had to make things suitable for the public, for the people. These things are in America because if it was, people would look at it and say, man, it's something wrong. You can't see, they won't be too spiritual about what they do. Because if it was, people would look at it and say, well, maybe this is spiritual warfare. Could it be? Right? So we in the Dominican Republic. Now, they practice Mardi Gras. They have a different name, though, as you can tell. Go ahead.
It is a month peppered with street concerts that attract the country's big music stars, of weeks spent with family members who have returned home to relive the traditions of their childhood, of days and nights filled with music, the blaring brass of merengue, the tiny guitar of bachata, both played at absurdly high volumes on huge portable speakers that acts as a kind of nonstop soundtrack to the surreal events that unfold as Carnival gathers steam.
So it's a month for a whole month with street concerts. All right, go ahead.
Carnival takes place on each weekend of February, with parades on Sundays, culminating with the largest one on February 27th, Dominican Independence Day. Many Dominican cities and towns have their own carnival traditions, usually with some demonic or outrageous character as its symbol and centerpiece, but none rivals that of La Vega, and in fact, many other societies send representatives there on the 27th to march alongside the town's famed Diablos Coelhos, horn-fanged, winged creatures whose outfits are created in ramshackle workshops by people who have been honing this skill for years.
There it goes right there. So you have these different representatives from cities that march alongside a horned, fanged, winged creature, and whose outfits are created in ramshackle workshops. Now, does this happen in America? Again, no. But it happens in other countries. This is closer to the root of what Mardi Gras really is. It's showing you what it really is, where America gets their partying ideas from. Nothing new under the sun. For them, it's February 27th. Go ahead.
Historians trace such carnival celebrations, carnaval in Spanish, as far back as pagan Rome and even ancient Egypt. But the modern incarnation emerged from Catholic traditions that came with colonialism and were deeply influenced by African slaves.
Ooh.
The word carnival is said to come from the Latin carnaval, a farewell to meat, which explains why it was traditionally celebrated in the 3 days before Lent, ending with Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras, festivities preceding Ash Wednesday.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on. Somebody's asking if the show is over. Try and refresh. I don't know what's going on out there, but hopefully it's okay. So we're not being heard on the outside here. All right, there we go. Refresh. All right, where was we at? Before you go on, key things here. Historians trace such carnival celebrations as far back as Rome and ancient Egypt. But the modern incarnation emerged from the Catholic tradition. From the Catholic traditions. That's why it's included now. Lent, Ash Wednesdays. And here it is, deeply influenced by African slaves. Why? Music, dancing, not the devils. That's European. All right, so let's start back from right there. Ancient Egypt and modern incarnations emerged from Catholic. It also emerged from Catholic traditions that came with Catholic colonialism and were deeply influenced by African slaves. Go ahead.
But in Dominican Republic, it has become more closely associated with Independence Day. In La Vega, Carnival is a decidedly multi-generational event. While local partygoers in their teens and 20s rule the streets and the clubs, witness the beer-swilling, high-decibel gathering Friday night at the Parque de los Estudiantes, a pocket park at a busy intersection. Their parents and grandparents are equally enthusiastic participants in the celebrations. During my visit last February, on the final weekend of the celebrations, one of the best dancers around was Lisa Fernanda Tapia, shaking her hips as she stood on the outskirts of a huge street party late into a Saturday night. The next day, she turned 4.
Yep. So they're passing around. They're letting this young 3-year-old and dancing with what they call dancing with the devils. They're letting this 3-year-old be around for the final weekend celebrations. What do you think they're doing? Sacrificing. And you don't have to take blood to sacrifice. It could simply be, just the passing of the torch. You're going to give up your life to worship Satanism. Dominicans are the tribe of Simeon. Infiltrated, right? Infiltrated by Catholicism. So I looked up a few things. Every major city in the Dominican Republic is populated with more than 50% religious practitioners of Catholicism. And we know Catholicism is false. But this was led in by the sword. This was led in by, war. And not only that, it was a curse put on us that we would serve other gods. All right? So you'll find many places where Mardi Gras goes on. It's going to be Catholicism written all over it because those that's in that city are Catholics. More than 50% of them. And Catholics are not going to go out there and stop unrighteousness. In fact, they are going to be part of it. They are the root of it, as it said. The modern day practices of Mardi Gras. Then a few days later, you'll have Lent and Ash Wednesday. All pagan practices, not biblically sound, along with Easter, bunnies and eggs. Let's go to the next one here. We're in Bolivia. Anyone know where Bolivia is? South America? We're in Bolivia. So we were just on one of the islands there. The Dominican Republic is next to Haiti, where the Levites reside currently. And the Lord is calling them home. They begin to wake up. Along with the Dominicans, they are beginning to wake up. But now we're in Bolivia. And this is the same thing, same carnival. So let's read what goes on in Bolivia. Then we'll go into some scriptures to break down exactly how to separate from these things and also provide intel for those that need this information. But first, we all recognize that you have to be practicing righteousness yourself. So let's go ahead.
All right, it's from Wikipedia.com, Bolivia Carnaval de Oruro. The Carnaval of Oruro is a religious festival dating back more than 2,000 years that take place in Oruro, Bolivia. Originally an indigenous festival, the celebration later was transformed to incorporate a Christian ritual around the version of Candelaria, version of Socavón, which takes place on the 2nd of February. The traditional Yama Yama or Diablada became the leading traditional dance of the festival. Throughout the festival, more than 48 groups of folk dancers specializing in 18 different folk dances perform a pilgrimage to the shrine of the tunnel every Saturday of the carnival in the traditional input, later transformed into Christian, which is called Catholicism.
Here it goes. One day we'll be able to practice righteousness, and we'll all be at a festival, dancing, celebrating the day that the Lord chose to be holy. That is one of our festivals. And we'll be able to practice it in righteousness. But as you can see here, in Bolivia, they're going to some shrine every Saturday of the carnival, and this is a made tradition. It was transformed into Christianity, but really, it's Catholicism. Giving it away already, right? Go ahead.
Celebrated in Oruro, the folklore capital of Bolivia, The carnival marks the Ito religious festival for the indigenous Yuru people. Its ceremonies stem from Andean customs, with ancient invocations centering around Pachamama, or Mother Earth, later transformed into the Virgin Mary through Christian syncretism, and Teotsupe, the uncle god of the mountains, later transformed into the Christian devil. The native Edo ceremonies were banned by the Spanish in the 17th century during their rule over Upper Peru. However, the Yuru continued to observe the festival in the form of a Catholic ritual on Candlemas, the first week of each February. Christian icons were used to conceal portrayals of Andean gods, and the Christian saints stood in for other minor Andean divinities. The ceremony began 4 days before Easter.
So, I mean, you got Catholicism, Christianity, and paganism all mixed in one, and they all say it's acceptable. So my question is, which one of these religions are reading the Bible and actually reading where it says it's unacceptable? So the same practices that are going on in the United States, you see in these other countries, especially where the children of Israel, who are the Bolivians according to scriptures, Asher. I had it down. Where did I put it at? Okay, so I missed it. I believe it's Asher. They're the children of Asher. And here they are infiltrated by the Roman Catholic Church and Christianity. They're both the same thing. Go ahead.
One moment here.
All right, so we're at, actually we could skip down to modern carnival. They had a prehistoric period where they would do pilgrimage. So during this prehistoric period, before the Europeans got there, they were doing pilgrimage to where they called the Aden world, the center of Aden world, a sacred mountain, some sacred mountain of some god, and they make this walk. Now today, you're going to see how it takes effect in this modern day carnival, which is the same thing as Mardi Gras. You're going to see how it takes effect in their culture through the Europeans. Still there, Brother Yaqua?
Con.
Go ahead. Modern carnival.
Modern carnival. The modern festival demonstrates the ongoing pagan Catholic blend of religious practice in the region. The carnival starts with a ceremony dedicated to the Virgin del Salvacón. Marching bands compete simultaneously in the grotto of Pai de Gallo on Sunday, which is a greeting to the Virgin. The highlight of the festival is the 3-day and 3-night parade of 48 groups of folk dances over a 4-kilometer route to the sanctuary of the tunnel. 3 days prior to this Saturday pilgrimage, people visit the symbolic pagan condor. A week after the pilgrimage, they visit the snake south of the city, the toad to the north, and the ants to the east. The pilgrimage culminates in the enactment of 2 medieval-style mystery plays. The first is about the Spanish conquest, and the other revolves around the classical battle between good and evil, with the archangel Michael ultimately triumphing over the devil and his 7 deadly sins. The latter play was introduced by Catholic clergy in 1818. In all, there are over 28,000 dancers, about 10,000 musicians, and 150 bands. 400,000 visitors stretching over 4 miles.
So in Bolivia, they're doing the same thing, and you have the Roman Catholic Church trying to pass over a play, passing over what they believe So the Bolivians can begin to follow the Catholic Church. And they merge it with the belief system that the Bolivians already had. So if you want to make a pilgrimage, okay, well, include this play, have music, your bands and all that. It will include all that. We'll escort people here for you. So you can all celebrate the same thing and then do your pilgrimage. You see how that works out? They come in, they be friendly, shake hands, and next thing they either at war with you or they're trying to compare religion and accept your religion to come into their religion. So that way you are a part of their religion, whatever you practice. You can call yourself Catholic and don't even go to church on Sunday. You can call yourself Christian and don't even go to church on a Sunday. Or whatever it requires to be a Christian, which is kind of broad nowadays. Even be a part of Christianity. So they'll come in and, here, change a few things up and still do the pilgrimage, still do all that. That's fine with Jesus. Okay? All right, so we're rounding it off here. This is the point of the whole Mardi Gras, because it tells you that the Catholic Church give them mystery plays, medieval style. Now, that just sounds crazy. Medieval style mystery plays. So I went, Brother Mike had presented this information to myself, and as I began to do research upon his research, I found what the Bolivians were practicing. And this is from cogwriter.com. They're going to tell you what the Bolivians were practicing, and this is all in one Mardi Gras. It's the same thing, synonymous. All right, go ahead. When?
All right, Senator, it's from cogwriter.com. When? The 10 days around Ash Wednesday. Where? Oruro, Bolivia. The Oruro Carnival is Bolivia's largest annual celebration, which draws in about 400,000 people every year thanks to its extraordinary centerpiece, La Diablada, the Dance of the Devil. The 4-kilometer-long procession takes place.
The title of their carnival is called the Dance of the Devil. Right? Now, they don't tell you that in Mardi Gras because, again, they have to make it suitable for society. They don't let you know, well, you dancing with Satan himself. As you out here partying on the street, you let all kind of spirits enter inside of you to do what you feel, to operate in lewdness and drunkenness, and basically exercise your right not to make it to the kingdom. Go ahead.
The 4-kilometer-long procession takes place on the Sunday before Ash Wednesday and features so many entertainers that it can actually last up to 20 hours. The whole debacle follows a brightly customs San Miguel character, and behind him come the more famous devils and a whole host of other beings.
Here it goes. Here goes the punch in the face for those that's participating in these practices. Go ahead.
The chief devil, Lucifer, gets treated to the best costume, obviously, and swans around in a velvet cape and ornate mask naturally. The rest of the procession follows and is drenched in jewels and precious metals with offering for the owner of the underground minerals, LCO.
Right, so there you go. Lucifer, he gets the best costume. So you might go down and start having the best costume competition. That spirit just went rampant throughout that festival, especially into that person. Go ahead.
When the procession arrives at the city's football stadium, there is a huge performance which shows the battle between good and evil. While there must take some dedicated choreography. After it is apparent that good has triumphed over evil, horary, the dancers can finally head home and put their feet up. The festival continues throughout the week before the grand finale on the Monday after Ash Wednesday, which is known as the Dia del Agua, the Day of Water, and involves everyone pelting each other with water bombs.
So a big water fight on the Monday after Ash Wednesday. So they're partaking in all these pagan holidays. And these festivals go throughout the grand finale. Now, where is this in our culture? Where is this in our history? Where does it start at in our history? I know it happened in Enoch one time. Where else did it happen? It happened when we went to go take down the land of Canaan. And the only way the nations could take us down was by making us commit sin. So they began to dance and have little carnivals around us. And our fleshly force, seeing the unrighteousness, decided to walk in and be partakers of the carnival. Therefore, we couldn't take down Canaan. And it happened. It's happening today. You know, it happens today, every weekend. Since we don't practice righteousness, we stay at the bottom. We stay conquered. I want to go to Exodus 32:1 because this is where it's really rooted from. This festival. It's dedicated to other gods. 40 days of fasting. You know, it's time to turn to the Lord after we committed a billion sins. Right? So let's go to Exodus 32 and we'll just read down and we'll see the same thing, how they operated then is how they're going to operate now. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 32, verse 1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For us is Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt. We wot not what is become of him.
So since judgment is not available for them, it's not accessible to them, since righteousness is not accessible to them. It is always and always will be accessible. It's within your spirit. You already know what's righteous and what's unrighteous. You just need that second witness or that third witness. Up and make us gods. And you notice throughout these readings here, it's not just one God being worshipped, it's many gods. What else did they do? Go ahead.
Verse 2. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. Mm-hmm. And all the people break off the golden earrings, which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron.
So they have been released for their God, which was Aaron. Go ahead.
And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
Now this is wild, right? These be thy gods, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. our forefathers, knew what God they were supposed to worship, and they knew not to make graven images. But they chose to anyway. So since there was no judge to judge them, which the judging should have been passed to Aaron, but he left that to the side to please the murmurings of the children of Israel, the complaining, that is. He just went ahead and made gods for the children of Israel, and then notified them as being the gods that brought them out of the land of Egypt. And we know it was the great Ahiah that brought them out of the land of Egypt. What kind of God was this? Go ahead.
Verse 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to the Lord.
Tomorrow is the feast to the Lord. We all know that it's Baal, Jehovah, Yahweh. That's who that is. Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. That was the golden calf, or the bull, the one that Mardi Gras actually represents. Its symbol. It symbolizes. And what did they do in verse 6?
Verse 6, and they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play.
Right? They rose up to play. Rose up early to play. Let's get this definition to play. We in the Hebrew, and we at 67:11. Go ahead.
All right, in the Hebrew, you have word H6711, tazak. And the definition is to laugh, mock, play, or make sport. Imperative root, to laugh outright in merriment or scorn, or application to sport.
Okay, so
laugh, mock, play, or sport.
To laugh, mock, play, or sport. So I made a statement last week saying that was in Judges is where I seen the first sport person being made sport. Well, actually, now these scriptures have to recant that statement and look at this. The children of Israel begin to make sport, laugh, mock, and play, to laugh outright. So they're sitting here making sport out of themselves. What does the Most High say about making sport out of themselves after right to play? Go ahead.
Verse 7, and the Lord said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves.
Interesting. The Most High is saying you have corrupted yourselves, making sport, laughing, mocking, playing. So, can be made through making sport, especially dealing with other gods, which in last lesson we proved in their sports, in their sporting events, it's gods versus gods. Gods versus gods. The wars of the gods. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 8. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Verse 10. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
See, while you at the Mardi Gras, while you at the Super Bowl, while you at the, you at the Olympics making sport of other individuals or making sport of yourself, the Most High is saying you're corrupting yourself. Down here at the Mardi Gras, down here at these festivals that are not mine, that he hates, you're corrupting yourselves. And says they have turned away quickly. They have turned aside quickly. And the Most High said, his wrath will wax hot against them. So yeah, this is matching up exactly with last week's lesson. I'm glad I found this, and I'm sure if I went into the book of Enoch, I'd find some more too, because that was some good stories out of there, and or Jasher. Drunkenness, outgoing lewdness, the worshiping of gods. Then next thing you know, you back to church on Sunday. Or you up in Islam. Or you following Farrakhan. When you start falling down and when you start tripping over your own feet in your unrighteousness, you begin to fall very quickly. I mean, you might do some stumbling, but after that stumbling, you begin to fall. And when you fall, there's no ending to it. I've seen it. People can go sideways and backwards, upside down, and don't even know how to read anymore after they leave the scriptures. Because they want to go laugh and make sport. They want to rise up to play. Brothers and sisters, we are dedicated to the Most High and His law, statutes, and commandments, and dedicated to our Lord and Savior, who has chosen us. Okay? All right, so let's keep reading here. Where we at? No. Let's skip to Exodus 34, and let's start reading. We'll start at 13 through 17.
Exodus, chapter 34, verse 13. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt not worship no other God. For the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a-whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods. And one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a-whoring after their gods. Thou shalt not make thee no molten gods.
So you see how this all combined it into just, the worshiping of other gods. You see what happens? You begin to give your daughters to the other culture. You begin to give your sons to the other culture who's worshiping these other gods. Then you begin to make sacrifices to the other gods, whether it be your children, whether it be your family, whether it be friends. You begin to make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land when your covenant was established with the Most High, with Ahia. See, what people like to say is that covenant was too hard to do, so it's disannulled. It's no longer available. But see, it wasn't that the covenant was hard. It's not that the law, statutes, and commandments are hard. It's just we are disobedient people. The Most High said, I know they works. They just stiff-necked. These are some stiff-necked people. I can just destroy them now, and it'll save me all the heartache. And Moses put in his petition. Praise the Father for that. So you could see here that if we partake in their festivals and their holy days, it leads not only to, it's not just you. It's your family. It's your friends. Because this takes effect in your life. It takes effect in others' lives. You affect way more people than just yourself. That's why it's important to examine thyself. No matter how many people you're trying to tell the truth to, if you haven't examined yourself, will anybody hear you due to your unrighteous practicing? So here it is, I follow the Most High, law, statutes, and commandments, and you didn't ended up at the Mardi Gras. Like, what's up with that? You didn't ended up at the Super Bowl. What's up with that? You at the club Saturday night. Oh, I thought hey, wasn't you on the street talking about law and commandments? What's going on? Right? We should be breaking down these strongholds that's on our people. But instead, we partake in them. Why are you partaking in something that needs to be broken? That needs to be set on fire and tossed into nothing, into the abyss. We all have to establish that line of righteousness and unrighteousness. And we don't have to be over-righteous, and we don't have to operate wickedly. You don't have to change your everyday lifestyle unless you were just a straight wicked person coming into Christ. You would have to change your lifestyle completely. But for some of us, that's not the case. You don't have to change your lifestyle completely. You still operate the same. You still go to work. You still talk to your friends. You still talk to your family. And you talk to them. And it's not against the law to do that. When you change is when you read the information for yourself, not just hear it. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word. So you get the faith, you get the evidence and the substance, you establish your faith, you establish your foundation, and you walk on it. But if you have no foundation, what do you have to do? You have to read. So if you're trying to establish your foundation, if you're trying to establish yourself, you just can't jump into the law. You have to understand what the law is saying. Why does it say it? And it gives you the explanation of why and how you should operate as a Hebrew in the Hebrew culture. You have to establish why it's a sin. And it's going to be provided to you. This information is not far. I just got, Brother Mike, I'm sure, Brother Mike just got on the internet and typed in Mardi Gras, pagan origins of Mardi Gras. Maybe it's the way you speak. Maybe you want to figure out how to speak properly or how to speak better. Look up the words that you use. Look up the grammar that proceeds out of your mouth. You have to look at it as a path to righteousness. You don't know everything yet. So don't just assume. Now, things like Mardi Gras, you can just look at it and say, that's wicked. You know, someone else had a statement about the music that I'm playing. That is satanic. Like, all right, you know, that's your understanding. I haven't read that. And I definitely don't practice Satanism. I practice righteousness. And I'm sure there's other brothers and sisters out there that may have made a gospel song earlier on in life before they got into the truth. Does that make that gospel song satanic? They could have been practicing righteousness, and the Most High hasn't revealed it to them until now. So again, it's a walking process. Read it, and then you establish your culture. So again, we should be breaking down these false practices, these false cultures, not physically, not by physical force, because our spirit is spiritual warfare. Our weapons are not carnal. We fight with truth. And that's the only way these things are going to get torn down. And let the Most High bring the fire. Let's go to the next scripture here. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 14.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry.
Flee from idolatry. You flee from idolatry. If you know they're practicing idol worship, do you partake in it? Are you one that be like, you know, oh, what's going on? What's going on? All right, I'm in it. Because it's exciting, because it's uplifting. You know, because you need some excitement. Are you one to do that? I mean, it's easy, brothers and sisters, to tone it down. If you feel like you one that operate in the flesh much, and you have access to other brothers and sisters, or even access to the internet, just ask questions. You know, so now how do I get rid of this feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Go ahead. What did you say? Okay. So is it not enough to see, like, the Ten Commandments? It's in the New Testament, too. Idolatry. And idolatry is all over America. Idolatry is all in the movie industry. All through Hollywood, American Idol. That's straight up idolatry. But yet millions of people partake in that. Not only that, religious people, witches and all, witches and warlocks, horoscopists, all of them. All right? Then you got those to say, well, I mean, you just don't support idolatry. That's all I'm saying. Don't take it like, oh, I gotta stop this and I got that. supporting idolatry is something like, loving one of the movie stars, loving one of the football players, putting your hard-earned Federal Reserve notes into it. That's supporting. If you need to relax, then relax. All right. Revelations 21:8.
Revelation 21, verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
So, simple, right? This is why people don't go into Revelation. This is why they're scared to go into Revelation, because Revelation is going to tell you the truth. If you partake with these sorcerers and idolaters and lying and whoremongers, being deceitful with the abominable, you're going to partake in the second death. That's hellfire and brimstone. And that's why they came up with, hey, there is no hell. If it ain't no hell, then it must not be a heaven too. Don't just do one. Don't just do one of them. Do all of them. All right? Okay, somebody wants me to take calls. See, I have to explain something real quick. We've been getting really weird calls since I started this show. I don't know if it's just Sundays or what's going on. So, I'll take calls. 646-200-4309. I'm only trying until I get a weird call, and then I'll have to end it after that. But I got some more scriptures to go through. So, I'll take this first call. Area code 678. Shalom. Area 78. All right. Area code 510. We're going to roll. Area code 510. Shalom.
Hello?
Brother Mike.
Hey, how you doing? I didn't think I'd be the first one in here.
Somebody else was there, but go ahead.
It must have dropped, huh?
Huh?
Oh, man, I hope you can hear me all right. I'm on my regular cell phone.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's been a good lesson tonight, though, man. Really appreciate the shout out to me, though, but you bringing it forth, man. I didn't even think to look though on the different places that Mardi Gras was being celebrated. I knew it was other places other than Louisiana. They had these cruise apps and stuff like that, but I didn't think to even look for the brothers and sisters in the Dominican Republic and in Bolivia. That's important, and you brought that forth.
Yeah, definitely. Praise Father, because, brothers and sisters be like, well, what about the other nationalities? What about the other tribes? We need to talk about them. So we got a chance to bring out Asher and Simeon.
It's funny though, because when you was going into the background of the when you was talking about the cruise, this crew of comets, it's funny because there's like endless names of different crews and stuff, and I've noticed that in some of these crews, when you look on the Wikipedia link and you look at the bottom, some of these crews actually have names of gods in them. Like, for instance, there's a crew called the Crew of Bacchus, the Crew of Hermes, the Crew of Babylon.
Wow.
There's one called the Crew of Babylon. And, like, the list goes on and on and on and stuff. It's crazy. The Crew of Isis or Osiris. Like, they have names of false gods already in them. So it's like they letting you know from the door that they made their pact with you-know-who.
Already.
You know?
Already.
It's funny. And then also, I know you didn't get a chance to put this in there, but Albert Pike is a member of the Crew of Comets, as well as this. Yeah.
Oh,
sure
man.
is.
See that information.
Yeah. Yep. And there's also a guy by the name of Judah Benjamin. He was an agent for the House of Rothschild, living in Louisiana back in 1857. So there goes your Rothschild connection with these crews. But it's crazy, man. I also found. Well, I wanted to say one more thing. I also found out there one of these crews, right? This Crew of Comets, right? There's a guy. Well, actually, no. This is a different crew. This is called the Cabellian de Rockin Society from 1830, right? Now, remember, these crews are made up of businessmen. There's a businessman that was named Joseph Ellison. He was a member of the Mobile, down in Mobile, Alabama, Bella Crew, Cabellian Crew or whatnot. I know these names are crazy, but this guy name is Joseph Ellison. Now, I'm wondering if Joseph Ellison is related to Larry Ellison, which his full name is Lawrence Joseph Larry Ellison, and he's the corporate CEO of Oracle Corporation, the Oracle Corporation. You know, the Oracle Arena in Oakland?
Wow.
Basically the CEO of that. Now, I don't know if it's connected or not, because I couldn't really prove it, because I wanted to try to prove it and, add it to the lesson, but I really didn't know. But it would be very interesting if, this Joseph Ellison from back then, who was a businessman, is connected to the Joseph Ellison of today. Turning out to be his great-great-great-grandson or something like that. But
and that rap gets deep. That's crazy.
Yeah. But you see, there's a lot of that, a lot of the occultism in there. The elites are connected with it. The Skull and Bones is connected with it. Like it was so much. I got to tell you, like there was so much information and stuff that I had to kind of put a lid on certain things, because I would have been all over the place. Like there was so many connections of people that on the list that it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like these people really disguised this very well, and I didn't. Like I said, I had put up a post on the higher page, on the Facebook page a long time ago, asking was there any lessons on Mardi Gras. I didn't really get an answer for it, so I was like, maybe I should ask you about it. And that's how the whole thing got started, because like I said, I know that, a lot of brothers and sisters do take part in Mardi Gras. They fly down to Louisiana to take part in it. So I just thought it was something that, need to be talked about, because we talk about Christmas all the time, that's obvious, but, how many people really talk about Mardi Gras,
Yeah. It's a crazy culture that they are part of, and I mean, just going into this, is like they got Roman Catholic Church written all over it, and all the African dancing and, the lewdness, and then the drunkenness is straight out of Rome,
Right.
that rabbit hole will get deep, especially when you get to names.
I mean, it's endless. It's just, and it's all names of gods or places in Egypt. They even got some crazy names like the High Priest of Mephibosheth or whatever this is. I can't even pronounce this stuff. It's just a whole bunch of foolishness. It really is.
Yeah, already.
You know.
Well, thanks, Brother Mike, for putting together the lesson, man. You know, it was definitely helpful for me to actually get something prepared for everyone here, because I'm sure they've been waiting for something prepared.
I just appreciate to be able to help you, and I thank the Most High for bringing this information out. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it'll help, you know, the brothers and sisters in these areas to be aware of this type of stuff, you know, because, you know, like I said, they hide it in everything. They hide it in their ceremonies and stuff, and you think you're just going to a harmless party. It turns out you're going to one of these, you know, these Mardi Gras carnivals or something like that, you know. So it was just the Most High's will that, you know, to bring this stuff out and give it to the brothers and sisters so they'll have the knowledge. Yeah.
Definitely. Praise the Father. Good looking out, Brother Mike.
All right, brothers, I'm going to get back in the queue. I'm going to say shalom.
All right, shalom. Yep, praise the Father. Had a lesson put together by Brother Mike. Good looking out. Okay, I guess we got one more caller here. Area code 404. Shalom.
Hello. Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. I wanted you to do me a favor and spell that Wikipedia website for me.
Yes, I can. W-I. K-I.
K-I.
P-E.
E-E.
P as in Paul or Peter.
Okay.
Yeah, so W-I-K-I-P-E. D as in dog.
Wait a minute. W-I-K-I.
Uh-huh.
Come on. Wait a minute. I can't hardly hear you. Hold on for a second. Okay. W-I-K-I.
P-E as in Peter.
P-P. Okay.
No, P-E, because of Wikipedia.
Okay. P-E. Okay. Gotcha.
D-I-A.
B-I-A.
D as in dog.
Okay. I-A.
Yeah.
Okay, now, and the other question I had for you was that other word you said, the Saturnalians. I need you to spell that for me.
Okay. Saturnalia.
It was a website. I mean, you were saying something about the Romans and the Greeks are over this festival of Saturnalians. I needed the spelling of that word.
All right. I'll spell it out for you. I'm trying to find it for you here.
Okay.
Okay, here it goes. Well, Saturn, which is S-A-T. U-R.
Okay.
N-A.
Okay.
L-I-A.
Okay, wait a minute. N-A-L-I-A.
Yep.
Okay, and what's the second word? Is that millions, like $1 million?
Saturnalia.
Oh, Saturnalia. Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's the whole word. Okay, I got you. Mm-hmm. And I really listened to your show tonight. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed listening to you guys, and I just wanted to get this phone number to keep in contact with you all because I listen to Richard a lot, and I'm really enthused on, getting with the Hebrew brothers and sisters so we can move forward.
Definitely.
And by the way, my name is Juanita Estes. I'm calling you from Atlanta, Georgia.
Sounds good. I hope you link in to the brothers in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, we already have. We've been communicating, and they sent me some information for the upcoming holy day for the Passover, and I'm looking forward to greeting and meeting them and going forward in the Most High.
Praise the Father, sis. Welcome to the family.
Okay, and thank you so much. And this is the number here that I will be able to contact you if I need to contact you?
Actually, I can't give my number out online, but I can give you a call.
Okay,
I do have your number.
Great.
Me right now.
Okay, great. Okay, I appreciate it if you would do that for me because I really want to keep in contact and continue to go forth with the teachings on Sunday nights. And you do these every Sunday night?
Every Sunday night. We also have some recorded last couple weeks, and we also have some for Tuesdays.
Okay.
If you have the chance to check out the recordings.
Okay, great. Okay. So if you could hold that number and just give me a call, and we can let me know the updates of what's going on, and we can go forth that way. Okay?
Okay, no problem. Is this a cell phone or a house phone?
This is a cell phone number. It's a cell phone.
I'll be giving you a call soon.
All right. Thank you so much, and have a blessed night, and shalom to you.
Shalom, sister. Praise the Father. Good words. We didn't have that much trouble this time answering phone calls, so praise the Father. Amen
to that.
I'm telling you, man, it's always good to hear from brothers and sisters. Okay. So let's jump back into some scriptures here. We're precepting two. We got about two more, and then we'll call it a night. And then if you got any questions, we'll answer the calls until we get some weird calls, okay? Let's go to Leviticus 20. Oh, wait. I'm missing a scripture here. Okay. 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, in verse 16. And we're going to read until 18. And we're going to read this because we want you to draw the line. We want you to establish the line between righteousness and unrighteousness. And do it not only to our words, but do it to the words of wisdom, the words of understanding. So I can tell you, don't worship an idol. Don't follow after idol worship. But what's the understanding? What's the understanding behind that? Why did the Most High tell you don't make graven images? Because you'll turn around and you'll start reverencing what you made, and then start putting it before the Most High. Okay? So it's important. So let's read this. So we got 3 more scriptures. We'll read this. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 16. And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
So what agreement do you have with these idols? What agreement do you have with Mardi Gras? What agreement do you have with the Olympics? What agreement? They ain't talking about you unless they talking about destroying you. That's their plan. What's your plan between the Olympics and you? Your plan is to sit there and be excited, see something different, see someone else get reverenced. What agreement is there between you and American Idol? They're there to entertain you. You want to get acceptance. And here it is. You just made a covenant with those that's trying to destroy you. That's why the Most High say, don't do certain things. only telling you this through wisdom. So if he say thou shalt not kill, it's only through wisdom, but find out why he says that. Find out why. That way you're guaranteed by the second or third witness that you're not going to go kill somebody. And that you're not going to go commit adultery. Why does he say thou shalt not commit adultery? Why does he say you shall not eat unclean meats? You should wear all cotton and not mix it with satin. You understand? He says it for a reason. It's not just out the blue. Follow? All right? Go ahead.
Wherefore, come out among from them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing. And I will receive you, and I will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty.
Okay, so here we go. He says, be ye separate. Everyone knows what separate means. And it doesn't mean to partake. It doesn't mean be in the Hebrew culture and then go put on a football jersey. It doesn't mean be a Hebrew and then go be partaking in their unclean acts. You know, boxing, where they just wear shorts. Before the time that they started putting on shorts, guess what? They had on nothing. Same thing with football. We read that last week. Before they started throwing a ball, they had on nothing. And it wasn't that was doing this. It was Europeans of Israel do it. That's why today, who do you see dominating in sports? The children of Israel. Who do you see dominating in these Mardi Gras? In these, well, I ain't gonna say Mardi Gras because, you know, some Negroes got common sense on not to be out on the street and do what they do. Mardi Gras into the Saturday night clubs and Friday night clubs. But when it comes to that, you know, people have no common sense. I didn't have it either, so let's face the facts. At one point in time. So we're supposed to be separate. Touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. I know many of you are his son. Many of you are trying to be his daughter. He said, I will accept you. I will be a father unto you. Thus saith the Lord Almighty. So you choose. Don't be half and half. Because if you half and half, you already chose. You didn't choose the Lord. It's brothers and sisters that come that all the time. They want to listen to a show. Then they want to go to the club. You know. They want to just listen to one show. Then be at Mardi Gras. They'll listen for a couple of hours. And it's not only about listening because, again, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So therefore, establish your faith, and by your establishing your faith, you establishing your works. So now we know if, like, I could see where, you could see where certain people start coming into the truth because they just listening. That's how you gather your faith. And you should be a listener for a good year or two. But as you listen, you take notes. That way you don't have to go back around to what something you already learned. It's already there written for you. You understand? All right, so I'm going to keep rambling here. I do that often. Leviticus 23. So therefore, we don't partake in these holidays and these festivals and these carnivals. Why? We'll read it in Leviticus 23:1.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts.
All right, so these are my feasts. We don't partake in other feasts. We don't partake in other culture activities. Why? Because it's potentially satanic worship. And when I say potential, I'm talking about 95%. And again, Paul said, I'm going to go, I'm going to become like my brother, that I may gain him. But that don't mean go commit the sin. Because he said, I keep the law of God within me. In this way, we do know your heart. The Most High has provided understanding for us having the mind of the Lord, to judge properly whether in that man's heart he wants to commit the sin or he's practicing righteousness. And it's not hard for us to tell. If we read in the law, that is. If you don't read the law, then your heart is doing whatever it wants to do. It hasn't established any boundaries. You haven't established any faith. You just say the Lord will do what he will. And you're saying to yourself, do as thou wilt. See, here, we don't practice do as thou wilt. It's thus saith the Lord. Therefore, if he say, these are my feast days, we feast on those days. Thus saith the Lord. And he said he's going to proclaim this to be holy. If you practice in holiness, you practice what the Lord is telling you to practice, not what some man made up. Not what, the Romans make up, not what the Greeks make up, not what the Africans make up. Excuse me, sir, are you practicing holiness? Excuse me, young lady, or ma'am, are you practicing holiness? Not just one day out of the week, but daily? Remember the Most High said, we read the scripture just before this one saying, touch not the unclean thing. If you touch an unclean, are you still holy? Not according to him. Thus saith the Lord. John, 1 John 3 and 4. We want to go to 1 John 3 and 4.
1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
Right? It's always 2 plus 2 with the Most High. It's always 1 plus 1 with the Most High. It's an easy equation. That's why he say we know your heart. Giving us the mind of the Lord, we know what's the mind of the Lord? The law. It's an easy equation. So we know your heart. The Lord know your heart. And is able to establish what's in your heart, whether you want to commit sin. Whosoever commits sin, you see how John, he's straightforward cut, he'll cut you at the bone. Like, okay, you sin, you transgressing the law, and what else happens after this?
Verse 5. And you know that he was manifest to take away our sins, and in him is no sin.
So in him is no sin. So if we following after righteousness, what should be in us? No sin. Easy addition. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Whosoever abideth in sin, in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth have not seen him, neither known him.
So if you in our Lord and Savior, if you abide with our Lord and Savior, you don't sin. And it's not a hard thing. It's not grievous. Read this next verse, because this is what goes out around here. You can't become sinless. Read this next verse.
Verse 7. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous.
So, if you practicing righteousness, I'm going to call you righteous. They walk around here saying, well, you can't be righteous. You can't be 100. You can't be sinless. That ain't what John's telling you. He said, don't let a man deceive you. Don't let a man not say, you're unrighteous. You'll always be unrighteous. You'll always commit sin. That is not what the scriptures say. It say, don't let one think that we are without sin. It was a point in time where, brothers and sisters, you did commit a sin. But this point forward, you don't commit sin. And you establish this by your culture. If you create the proper community, the proper society, if you create the proper environment, you become sinless if you want to practice that. But you have to create the environment. That's why the Lord say, that's why Yeshaya tell you the kingdom of heaven is within. Because it's your heart. Your heart is chasing after the kingdom of heaven. It's going forward into the kingdom of heaven. That's where you're trying to make it. So if you're practicing righteousness, according to our Lord and Savior, according to the Most High, you are righteous. Man is the one that's going to look at you with his own understanding and tell you, you cannot practice righteousness. You cannot be righteous. You will always sin. All right, go ahead.
Verse 8. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil.
For this purpose, he that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of Ahiah was manifest, that he might destroy the works of the devil. How is he going to destroy the works of the devil? Through his works. Therefore, the way you destroy the works of the devil is through your works. Read this next verse to make it even more clear.
Verse 9. Whosoever is born of God does not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God.
If you born in the Most High, baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, born of the Most High, you cannot commit sin. It's not in you to commit sin. It's not in your spirit to commit sin. So you're looking at Mardi Gras, you're looking at these idolatrous ways, your idolatrous ways, and you turn from it. That's what repentance is, to turn from. And as you turning from something, you going somewhere. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. And this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever does not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother.
See, it's easy addition. In this, the children of God are manifest. We know who the children of God by what? Not by the way they talk, but by the way they walk. That's why he says, in this. In what? In righteousness, the children of Ahiah are manifest. and the children of the devil. See, it's easy to understand if a brother want to come into the truth or not. It's easy to understand if a sister want to come into the truth or not. Why? They're seeking a way to please the Father. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of the Most High. Neither he that loveth not his brother. It's easy addition, brothers and sisters. It's 2 plus 2. You are able to draw that line. And it's not by practicing over righteousness. It's not by practicing halfway in and halfway out. You got to do this as a culture, not as a religion. You have to do this as a spirit, as spirituality, spiritual warfare. So when you look at the American culture, when you look at the Roman culture, when you look at the Greek culture, you can automatically say, not for me. Because you're born of the Most High, therefore, you practice righteousness from your birth date, and it's in you that you are a child of the Most High, and it's manifest unto them all. And if it's manifest unto them, it's easier for you to spread the gospel because they want to hear it. They're coming right to you. And who the Most High wants to hear it, he'll send you right to them. I got a good example that I have to share because I'm excited about it. I've been working 6 months at this job. I haven't spoken to anybody about the truth until recently. 6 months. And I share little things like, with the brothers that work there and with the, with the brothers that work there, because it ain't no sisters. I share little things like, the dollar is a Federal Reserve note, and, I'm claiming my own child of God status. I'm doing this with the government. The government is doing this. I'm trying to separate myself, and I'm trying to set myself free. I ain't said nothing about children of Israel until recently. Why did I mention the children of Israel? Because this brother finally started doing research. Now, it might have been because of some of the words I was putting into him, but who knows? Because all I was doing was planting the seed, and somebody else was doing the watering. Could have been, or it might have been me, whatever it might have been. The Most High is the one to determine. All I want is a brother or sister to just stop sinning. That's all. Come to the Father. So I present it. It took me 6 months to bring some information out, but I didn't force it on nobody. I wasn't bringing it hard on nobody. I just let it be known that I read this Bible, and that's what I'm into. So the brother finally popped the question. So what's the difference between the Quran and the Bible? Now, I've been working with him for 6 months. I say, look, the Quran ain't going to tell you who you are. The Bible tells you who you are, where you're from, and who everybody else is. All right? Okay? So you got to be patient. The Most High going to send somebody to you, or the Most High going to send you to somebody. You can't walk around trying to convert everybody. You got to practice righteousness first. 100. All right? Okay. So in this, the children of God are manifest, and the children of devil. Whether you practice children of the devil, whether you practice righteousness or unrighteousness. We know Mardi Gras now is straight unrighteousness. We know what Bolivia is doing is unrighteousness. We know the Catholic Church is doing unrighteousness. And we just provided the proof to you. Hopefully you begin to practice righteousness and don't let no man deceive you, saying you can't become sinless, because you can. If you ain't at Mardi Gras, you're not committing a sin. Okay? It's that easy. And don't let people try to say, add to your, well, you did this before. Hey, I ain't doing it now. So what's up? You could try to tag on all you want to. I'm not doing it now. I got a different path. And you don't come back with the, well, you doing it too, and you doing this, and you doing that. No. You examine yourself at all times. All right? So hopefully, brothers and sisters, you all receive edification and understanding. We will take calls if folks got questions or even comments. So 646-200-4309. I want you all to remember, the way that I present the information to you is not the way you present the information to someone else. Understand this. The seat that I'm in. The seat that I'm in right now is teaching. The seat that you're in is student. So the way you communicate to someone else's is not teacher and student environment, because they want to talk. They want input. So the things that I said tonight is not necessarily the same things you want to say to someone else. All you're trying to do is sow a seed. And the seed that you're sowing is the word. All right? So praise the Father for the lesson tonight. Ahaya Ba'Shem Yeshaya. Ra. We pray you all had understanding. So again, if you got a question, go ahead and press 1. And we'll get to your call. 646-200-4309. I'll try this number again here. Area code 678. Shalom. Area code 678. Okay. Speaking Yaquab, you got anything to add?
Well, I just had a few precepts. It's pretty much about remaining separate. Pretty much, just a few dealing with fornication and being separate from everybody else.
I'll read them for you.
All right. The first few I want to go through was Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 7.
All right, Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5. All right, so it says, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
Right here. So exactly it says, be not wise in thine own eyes. So that means no self-righteousness. So if you think that you're following the true living God and you're out here committing all these abominations by partaking in these customs that the heathen deal with, such as Mardi Gras, such as Ash Wednesday, and then the other synonyms or related festivities, you're not dealing with the God of the Bible, because he gave us commandments. He gave us a set of guidelines of how to walk upright, and he actually warned us about the customs of these other nations. So let's go to Leviticus 18, chapter 1. Leviticus 18, verse 1.
Leviticus 18 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord thy God. After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
Exactly.
Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Okay. So right here it says when it's talking about the practices of the land of Canaan. When we read earlier in the show, when we were dealing with the different customs that come along with Carnival or Mardi Gras, we read in one of the articles that there was a sacrifice to Buefgua, the fattened bull. And now we know that the bull, or Baal, is a god of one of the Canaanite deities, Baal. So if you're dealing with Mardi Gras, you're dealing with a custom of the Canaanites. And the Most High told us specifically, do not deal with these customs that the Canaanites do. Because he gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to walk in. Let's read verses 4 and 5.
Ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord thy God, your God. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
So right here, if you're going to deal with the statutes of the Most High God, this is a life. This is a lifestyle. So if you're going to do these statutes and these judgments, you have to live in them. You can't be straddling the fence saying, oh, I love the Most High, I love Christ, but you're going to go celebrate a custom which is spearheaded by the people who persecuted Christ. That's a contradiction. So let's get some more edification. Skip down to verse 30.
Therefore ye shall keep my ordinances, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am the Lord thy God.
So right here it says it again. Do not commit any of these abominable customs, because the Most High hate these things. And this Mardi Gras, it's horrible. You know, you have this is celebrated mostly by the children of Israel. All throughout the Western Hemisphere, you have, mostly, the Levites, the Simeonites, mostly the Levites in the Northern Kingdom celebrating this. And our people are just destroyed for this custom. And, if you just look at it, you can tell this is a pagan custom, because these pagan religions deal with beads. When you go to the Catholic Church, you have rosary beads. When you go to Mardi Gras, what do you have? The same different colored beads. And they're throwing them out like, here's an idol, here's a graven image. They're just up there like up for grabs all over the place. You can't go to a Mardi Gras festival and not trip over an idol or a graven image. That's how bad it is. And then they have people dressed up as demons. This is horrible. And it's a very fornication-driven festival. So what I want to do is I want to get the definition of fornication in the Greek. And it's Greek word 4202.
All right. Is it there already? Can you post it right there for me? I got to go through extra to get it.
Okay, I'll read it.
Okay.
So the Greek definition for fornication is G4202, porneia. The definition is from G4203, harlotry, including adultery and incest, figuratively idolatry, fornication. So this is dealing with physical and spiritual fornication. And look at the word it comes from, porneia. Sounds a lot like pornography, exposing yourself to an audience that you don't deal with on a regular basis. So this is what they do with these Mardi Gras customs. They expose themselves to get these beads. So, this is a very wicked custom that our people need to stay away from, because we want to get into the kingdom. So let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18.
Okay, 1 Corinthians. Wait, 2 Corinthians, right?
You are in 1 Corinthians.
Okay. 1 Corinthians, what chapter?
Chapter 6, verse 18.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
So when you're sinning, when you're committing fornication, you're just hurting yourself. You're sinning against your own body. But our bodies are holy. If you're dealing with the Most High Christ, they should be set apart, sanctified. Go down to verse 19.
Verse 19. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own?
Exactly. So pretty much this is dealing with ownership. Like we don't belong to ourselves anymore. We belong to the Most High. Read verse 20.
For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
Hey, that's a nail on the head right there. So let's continue to be righteous and separate ourselves from these worldly customs, uphold our own customs, and, pretty much denounce anything that is contrary to the laws of the Most High God. That's all I got out.
I will praise the Father. Well, all right, brothers and sisters, so we'll call it a night. Good looking out on the precepts, too. We pray everyone has a blessed night and everyone continues in righteousness. With that being said, shalom.
Shalom.
Oh, here we go.
I wanna go home where I belong. I've been in this strange land for way too long. I wanna go home. Yes, I am coming through, and when I go home, I don't wanna go back, no, to that strange land. Oh, I just wanna move forward and keep your commandments. Keep me higher. Oh, save me, Abba. Why don't you keep me? This land was built on blood, sweat, and tears. I wanna go home. Your shine is coming through. I'm going home. How can we sing a song in a strange land? I'm going home. This place was built on slavery, blood, sweat, and tears. You see, the enemy's coming after me. This place I'm gonna have to flee, and I don't wanna go back to that strange land. No, I just wanna move forward and keep your commandments. Keep me higher. Oh, save me.
Raise your glasses, it's toast time. Seek him while he can be found, cause later on you got no time. Whatsoever you do in word, and whatsoever you do in deed, do all things in the name of Christ. Only one created all things. Holy feast is coming up, and some of y'all just ain't tough enough. See y'all probably like twice a year, only come around wanting free food and stuff. Revelation chapter 3, verse 15 and verse 16. I know thy works you lukewarm, he gon' spew you out like Mr. T.
Living a lie, he'll take and a coward, walking to and fro in the earth, trying to devour every stitch of anything that's for the Most High, speaking of himself every time that he lies. Since the beginning, he perpetuates the sin, and he in all black printing while we walking white linen. Shouts to the 12, scattered to the four corners, going to the earth last in the morning. Glorify the Most High, and he's anointed. Fixing on the devil like a bruise double jointed. Fixing on Satan like Jackie Joyner. Glory to the Most High, George Shine Hoya. Revelation 2 and 9, y'all do Goyim. Eagle get knocked out, Escadella Hoya. Glorified bodies that you admit mortal. Right, lead about the word, the Most High's orders. My Bible open, my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. My Bible open, my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. My Bible open, my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. My Bible open, my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. My mind focused, my Bible open. 7th day is no time for joking. Get it straight and go meditate. You reprobate them and your mind broken. Listen up, it's a good look. Wipe the dust off the good book. The only book, not just any book. Open it up and take a good look. Every time I read, I can't find religion. And the rapture, man, they forgot to mention. I still can't find no Joseph Smith, no Rastafari, and no Christian. Only laws and judgments. Israel and the covenant in Psalms chapter 83, and they still holding grudges. It's time to get in this word. I'ma tell you chapter and verse. When you get a chance to read the Maccabees, 1st, 2nd, 4th, and the 3rd. Pick up your Bible up off the dresser on the Sabbath day. You can't do your pleasure. Nehemiah threatened to lay hands on at the Father's Sabbath in the time of Ezra. It's time to get in this word. Put down the drink and the herb. We on one accord, thus says the Lord. Plus Babylon's gonna burn. I said it's time to get in this word. Stop worrying about what you heard. Most High say you should study thyself rightly, divide truth in the word. My Bible open, my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. My Bible open, my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. My Bible open, my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. My Bible open, my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. It's time to get in this word. My words holding my mind focused. It's time to get in this word. We feed the sheep. These scriptures deep plus Satan about to get served. To the end of time, we hold it down, trying to get a crown that's for show to shine.